2019. And my name is Alejandro Zambrano, Global Chief Market Strategist with ATFX and InvestingCube.com. We're going to take a look at the markets as we usually do at this time of the day. And if you're watching this live, then don't forget to say hello in the little chat box there. And as well, don't forget to like the video. It's very straightforward. Just click up here and then hit that button. It's really important if you like it that you like and share the video. Okay, let's get going, and we're going to begin by taking a look at gold. Gold is doing quite good today. So, as you know, gold burst through that 2013 high, 2018 highs, which are here. Had a very strong week on that breakout, and this week, continued to add to its gains, but pulled back a bit. If the week would close like this, it will still be bullish. We're always going to have volatility in the market, which is sort of what makes the markets interesting, because you can actually make money, potentially make money, even if you miss out on the initial move. And that's hopefully what we're going to do this week. So what happened here is that we always need to sort of figure out where are the key levels. And the key levels, as I mentioned over the last few days, is 13.75, because the idea is if it's going to tumble all the way back down to the breakout point, then the breakout point is around down here, so if it's gonna go below that level, that will be a sign of weakness. So what I said is that probably if we sort of ignore the section here and just focus on this section up here, then the idea was for the market to bottom out here, which it did, and then went all the way up to 14.25, and now pulling a little bit lower, hopefully higher. So we'll see what happens. Sort of tactically, there's different ways of dealing with this, but I would say as long as we trade above this low, then I'm not really going to care too much what's going to happen. We can of course slip below it, but again, as long as we're above this level, we should be fine. And I think it's first when we take out this high here where it makes sense. And eventually what's going to happen, if it hasn't started already, is that it's just going to trade sideways. So you're definitely going to have like a week or two sometimes where it just trades sideways, and then hopefully eventually reaches 1,600, which is the target I've been mentioning. This has sort of direct implications for something like dollar yen to some extent, because they're relatively negatively correlated, not strongly, but almost. So dollar versus the Japanese yen, as you know, we said that below this level, if you're really bearish, it's fine to short sell up here. If you're not as bearish, then you just wait for a slide to these levels down here. Now, if you look at this today, the market has gone down, and I think if we do establish ourselves below 107.55, this market is probably going to go lower. I personally remain short still, as I share with you guys, and my stop loss is up here around 108.40, because I never moved down my initial stop loss. I just kept it up here because I shorted here on the 21st, which is Friday last week. And we'll see what happens. Could easily be stopped out, but the way this is looking right now, we're relatively close to support, so I don't think that's going to happen. And as for G20, we can easily have some comments that could disrupt things. But Donald Trump attacking the Japanese, saying that the alliance they have, where the U.S. is supposed to support Japan in case of war, but there's no obligation on Japan's side to support America. That sort of doesn't bode well, really. Obviously, not necessarily linked to what's going on with China, but it looks like this is a multi sort of economic war fronts opening up. I'm not saying there's going to be any war, economic war between U.S. and Japan. I don't think so. But when you have issues with Mexico, Canada, Europe, China, and India now, particularly India now, then it doesn't bode well for business sentiment. And again, next week's going to be a crucial week. We got the ISM indicator, and some people project it's going to decline below 50 over the next 1 to 2 months. Obviously, the numbers we're seeing now are for June, but for July, people believe 50, which means you're going to have contraction in the manufacturing sector in the US. Now, the actual ISM number needs to decline to, I think, 42.5 or so before we have a recession in the US. We might be able to avoid a recession, but economic growth right now is about 1% annually, 1.4, and if the ISM and all these numbers keep on going lower, it would indicate that the US economy will barely grow this year, and that's of course why the Fed's cutting interest rates. That's of course why I think something like that did the yen can strengthen. If we look now at the euro, the idea was to buy down here over the last few days. We didn't revisit the level. Well, I mean, we revisited almost 2 times, but it was like just 1 pip difference, and it's looking encouraging. I'm quite surprised. This market has been a market that likes to correct everything, and everybody sort of gives up on it. There's not been a lot of people that are committed, but for the first time in a while, we can see a bit of people committed to this market. My preference is still buy gold, but here again it's bullish, and the different levels to work with. You have this level down here, which is sort of the longer term level, and I think realistically, as long as above here, we could potentially go upwards. But otherwise, it's just this little level that we're watching at 12.78. I think that's sort of the key. GBP versus the USD. There's really no point getting excited here. You will easily get in trouble, but you do have a bit of a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders developing. So I think here, if we start to trade above here, it can become really interesting eventually. Crude oil prices not doing too much. Went all the way up to 59.72. Scared some people, probably getting them stopped out. Could easily just drift upwards. There's not an optimal time to get involved in all markets. The optimal time to go long was on June 20th, which is Thursday last week. At that day or before that, I said bullish, bearish. So here was sort of the optimal from a risk-reward ratio perspective and pattern quality perspective, because this bit of a sideways pattern, rectangle-like, you got double top, if not triple top, really. So this was the perfect entry, and the good thing here is that you had like your 6-hour chart, a pattern that developed from 2nd of June up until the 20th of June, which is okay. It's not the super healthy pattern, but at least it's some pattern of a few days, and that was the optimal entry. Since then, if you try to get involved, unless you have a very good short-term scalping strategy, you'll be waiting for that pullback, and as you know, we haven't seen that pullback yet. S&P, here's a little pattern. This is pattern on the 6-hour here. It's not really that old. It's from the 20th, so 10 days old. So you got yourself a head, left, right shoulder, and I think if we do trade below 29.09, that this market is probably going to trade. This market is probably going to try to trade lower, but for now we're remaining above here. So what's happening now is that this is probably developing to some sort of rectangle. Again, that's a decent pattern to work with, and potentially bullish, bearish, because soon, if they spend small time here, we'll be able to say something like this. So it's either gonna be up with 57 points or down with about 40. Well, it should technically 57 on the downside as well. And that's it really. And then, as you know, there's some big levels here as well. Take out this level, then sky's the limit, I guess. Trade deal can easily have that happening. But again, with the macroeconomic backdrop, it's not looking that encouraging. I will, however, personally still buy here, because the data would tell us, the market itself will tell us that something is sort of different here. And obviously I'm not willing to buy down here, and I was not willing to buy down here. But when we take out such a big old pattern from January 2018, sort of, it is much more bullish. We talked about before, which is the Dow. We got a question yesterday, and here it's even more clear. You have a nice triple top here, 1, 2, 3, triple top, potentially a fourth high here. Take that out, and you have some amazing potential targets here, and that I think is interesting and worthwhile try out at least. As for the German DAX, here we talked about buying down here at 12,200, and it's looking good for now. No real change here. Might drift upwards. Let's see what happens over the next few days. Let's see here if you guys have any questions. No questions today. That's cool. If you're on this page already, don't forget to check out. So we have articles here, right? The latest articles published actually uploaded here automatically. It's the same content you'll find on the homepage. So don't forget to check this out. It's very easy. You watch the webinar, and then you scroll down and see if it's something you like, some interesting ideas. We have some problems with the formatting here, as you can see, but in the weekend it should be sorted. You find stuff from Nicholas, stuff from myself. If you scroll low enough, and if you just want to keep track of what I'm up to, then my Twitter is really the best. But here we go. That's my page, and I'll send that to you guys. So there you go. All right, guys, have a beautiful weekend, and let's see what happens with the markets. It's a bit quiet, but at least in gold prices, we're doing what we should be doing, which is going upwards. As always, been a very boring 2018, 19. It's not gonna be like this forever. Next week could be fireworks if the ISM and then non-farm payroll so bad. If they're really good, then this will be good for everybody living in the US and the rest of the world. But for us as traders, could become a bit boring again if people start to price out rate cuts. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, and if you have any questions to me, just let me know. And as you know as well, I'm available via WhatsApp. Have a great day. Bye-bye.